Hello students, welcome to the second part of the five kingdom classification. In today's lecture we are going to start with the Plantae classification. Okay, in the last lecture we have completed the Monera, Protista and fungi, and today we are going to start with the Plantae part. So there is a basic start, that is it is multicellular in nature. It is multicellular, it does have a well defined nucleus and autotrophic in nature. Autotrophic means the plants can prepare their own food, and well defined nucleus means it is eukaryotic in nature. So this Plantae has a big classification. They have been classified into five parts, that is Thallophyta, Bryophyta, Pteridophyta, Angiosperms and Gymnosperms. These are the five different classification. So one by one we are going to study about them. That is the Thallophyta first. So first, before starting of this classification, I would like to make it easy for you. Thallo means shapeless, and phyta means plants. The Thallophyta means the shapeless plants, the plants which does not have the shapes. Why they does not have a shapes? Because they do not have stem, roots and leaves. They does not have all the three: roots, stems and leaves. They have roots, stems and leaves. So that is why they are classified in the Thallophyta. Now, and then why, if they don't have roots, stems and leaves, so why they are classified in the plant for us? Because they have the chlorophyll. Okay, because they do have the chlorophyll. And this Thallophyta are basically aquatic in nature. Where you are going to find this Thallophyta? So I would like to give an example. Suppose this is a pond. Okay, so you have seen this green color substance that grows inside this pond. What is green color substance that grows in the pond? This is nothing but the algae. This is nothing but the algae. Okay, so this algae include different types. Okay, that is volvox, one of the example. That is Clamodomonas. This is the second example of Thallophyta. So Thallophyta means does not have a root, stems and leaves. Okay, not a proper development of the body. They are primarily aquatic in nature. They have been classified on the basis because they have chlorophyll and they are green in color. This is the basic structure of the Thallophyta. On the top you can see it does not have roots, stems and leaves. Okay, this is an algae type. Second, there is a Bryophyta. What does that mean? See, the word Bryophyta, the word bryo, B-R-Y-O, means the mosses. Okay, these are the mosses. Now there is a difference between a Thallophyta and a Bryophyta. In Thallophyta, roots, stems and leaves were missing, but in the case of Bryophyta, stems and leaves are present. Stems and leaves are present. Stems and leaves are present, but there is an absence of the roots. They does not have a proper roots. They have a false root-like structure. What does that mean? They have false root-like structure. That is called rhizoids. They are the false root-like structure. Okay, they are called the rhizoids. They are generally autotrophs in nature. What does that mean? That they can prepare their own food. Where does we are going to see this Bryophyta? If suppose I make a tree. Okay, so in the rainy seasons you have seen this part. Okay, a greenish color structure that grows on the plants. What is this greenish color structure? This is greenish color structure is nothing but they are the mosses. Okay, which grows on this trees. Okay, this green color. And what is the function of their function of this Bryophyta is to obtain the nutrition from the plants, because this Bryophyta do not have vascular system. What does that means? You have heard this word in your 8th standard also, vascular system. That is, it does not have a proper xylem and phloem. It does not have the vascular system. Okay, it obtains of the nutrition. It obtains of the nutrition from the other plants. Now third is pteridophytes. What does pteridophyte means? Pteridophyte means all ferns or ferns condition plant. All ferns, and the second example will be quillworth. Now in pteridophytes, root, stems, leaves, all the three structures are present. All the three structures are present, that is root, stems and leaves. But what is the difference in this pteridophyte? See, suppose this is a leaf. On the underside of the leaf. What do you mean by underside of the leaf? On the back surface, okay? On the back surface of the leaf, you are going to see this kind of a pores. Okay? We are going to see this kind of a pores. What is the function of this pores? When this pores get the favorable condition, they comes out from their leaf and goes into the soil. And when this pores goes into the soil, okay, into the soil, so when they get water, when they get favorable temperature, okay, and proper oxygen, their pores develop into a new plant. So the function of this pteridophyte is, they are the spore bearing on the underside of the leaves. They usually reproduce means grow from the spore formation, and spore formation is nothing but the asexual method. What is spore formation means? It means asexual methods of reproduction, because it does not involve any of the parent, that is the male or the female. It gives a new generation on its own due to the spores. Now these gymnosperms and angiosperms have been classified into spermatophyte. See, this word is not there in your text, but just a basic understanding in order to understand. Spermatophyte means these gymnosperms and angiosperms have been classified into the spermatophytes. Spermato means the sperm and phyte means the plant sperms. Now first I am going to discuss about the angiosperms. What does angiosperm means and what does the word mean? The word angio, okay, the word angio means cover, and the word sperms means seed. The word angio means cover and the sperm means seeds. Okay, now let's understand what do you mean by covered seeds. See, we all know that part. When the flower get modified, it gets converted into the fruit. Now the water present in the flower that helps to convert into a fruit, there are present of the two reproductive organs. That is, a male one is called pollen and the female one is called ovule. When this pollen and the ovules pollination is done, okay, from this pollination fertilization is going to occur, and from that fertilization a fruit is going to get developed. So whenever we get the fruit, so inside the fruit, what is the development? What we can see, there are the tiny structure which are present, and these structures are called the seeds. So we can see inside this fruit there was a development of this so called seeds. So that is why they have been classified into angiosperms. Almost 90 to 95% of the universe is made up of these angiosperms only. Okay, the seeds are enclosed in the fruit. These angiosperms have been classified into two parts, that is the monocots and dicots. Monocots, I am going to write the word up cots, mono and di. What does mono and dicot means? See, monocot means if you are going to assume the structure of a rice, it is like this. If you are going to assume the structure of maize, so it will be like this. But if you look at the structure of a pea, potato, apple, so it will have a two side. Now suppose this is a pea, it will has a two side, right? This is a pea, this will have a two side. This is the first and this is the two. So that is why this has been classified as the dicots, and the first one is called as the monocots. Now see, monocots, the leaves of this monocots have the parallel venation. What does that mean? Suppose this is a monocot, parallel venation means like this. And dicots have the reticulate venation. Reticulate means like this. You have seen the plants, okay? You have seen this kind of a structures, okay? This spider kind of a web kind of a conditions. This web kind of a condition are nothing but the reticulate venation, which we are going to see in the dicots, and these are nothing but the parallel venation condition. You have heard this word parallel in the maths. Okay, these two different types of the angiosperms we are going to see. So this parallel and reticulate is very important because they have asked in they might ask you in the school exams as well as in the boards. Now, and gymnosperms. So first, angiosperm means what? Covered seeds. So what would be gymnosperms? The seeds which are not covered. Yes. So gymno means naked then. Naked means which is not covered. So why it is not covered? Because see, these are again the spermatophyte only. This gymnosperms. Okay. This gymnosperms, the seeds are not enclosed in the fruits. See, in the case of the angiosperms, this was a fruit and inside this fruit there was a seeds. But gymnosperm seeds are directly exposed to the atmosphere. Suppose this is a gymnosperms. Suppose these are the seeds. Okay, so these are the seeds which are directly exposed to the sunlight. Okay, these gymnosperms bear a special structure. This structure is called cones. This gymnosperm bear seed in structure called cones. Okay, and inside these cones there are two what is present in this, there are two types of cone, that is the male cone and there is the female cone. This male cone and female cone. Okay, what is present in the male cone? That is the pollen. What is present in the female cone? That is the ovule. Okay, so this gymnosperm bear seeds in structure called cones. Okay, and what does they bear? They bear pollens and ovules. So these are the different type of the structures we are going to see. This is the bryophyta, pteridophytes, fern. Okay, angiosperms. In the angiosperm condition you can see out here. In the gymnosperm, see this is nothing but directly the seeds only, and this special seed structure is called as the cones, which has the pollens and the ovules. In male it will be pollen and in female it will be ovule. Then animal kingdom, they have been classified into three: multicellular, organized nucleus and heterotrophic. Multicellular and organized nucleus is very obvious to understand right now, because organized nucleus means the eukaryotic only. Heterotrophic, what do you mean by what heterotrophic? Heterotrophic means what? That these animals are going to obtain nutrition from other organisms. Okay, they are going to depend on the other plants, they are going to depend on the other, depending on other for food. for food. These are some of the classification of the animals. This picture seems to be a very funny one, but if you assume there are different types of animals we can see out here. Okay, why the animals? The kingdom of animal is very vast because there are millions of diversity in the natures. Some of there are terrestrial animals, means which lives on land. Some of them are aquatic in nature, which means they lives on in the water. Some of them are aerial animals, like they fly and all, and some of them are amphibian, which lives on land as well as water, like frogs. So animal classification is quite big. Now there is a scientific name concept called. So first I'm going to write. Suppose, before making you understand of the scientific name, let's take an example. Mango. Suppose mango in Hindi will be called as aam, and then aam would be called as amba in Marathi. What is mango means? Means a fruit. What does aam means? A fruit only. And what does amba means? A fruit only. So what is the difference between all these words? See, this mango is in English. Aam means in Hindi, and amba means Marathi. Suppose I give an example to you. Suppose you are talking to a foreigner who is suppose he is an American, okay, and if you are going to say him, okay, would you like to have mango? So he will understand that mango is a fruit, okay. But if you are going to say him, okay, if you are going to have aam, so he won't understand that part. And if you talk in Marathi, okay, do you want to have amba? Again there would be a difficulty for him to understand. Why? See, all the three words means the same only, mango, aam and amba. So why there was a difference between this part? Okay, why the person was not able to understand? Because different region have different languages. Different region has different languages. Mango is in English, but if someone spells it in Chinese language, if someone spells it in German language, so it becomes very difficult for us also to identify. Okay, there are different language. Spanish language, so these are the different language. If suppose in Chinese someone says amba, Germany or Spanish, so it becomes difficult for us also to understand because we are not familiar with this language. So that is why, in order to avoid the confusion, scientists have came up with a new idea. The scientists from the different countries can understand one language, that is the scientific language. So they called it as binomial nomenclature. The word binomial means two, and nomenclature means name to give. What does that mean? Name to give. Nomenclature means name to give. So let's take an example. This is a hill crow and this is the house crow. The hill crow is called Corvus macrohynocos and house crow is called Corvus splendens. Now, in both the cases, if you are going to see, the Corvus is same. So what does this Corvus means? This Corvus means genus. Okay, and Microhynocos is the species. So we have studied about the genus and species. So in both the cases, Corvus is the same, the genus is the same, but where is the difference that is occurring? In the species part. So the first is G and second one should be S. If you are going to look in the textbook also, there are different scientific names, okay? But there is some rule regarding that scientific name part. See, whenever you write means what? Whenever you write any of the name in scientific, the genus part, that is this, should be capital with the start. In the start only it should be capital. In the species part, the starting name should be small. Okay, see, in the genus part and species part, in the genus the first letter should be capital, in the species first letter should be small. This is the rule. And after writing up any of the scientific name, just underline it. So these are the two rules. What is the first rule? Genus starts with a capital letter and species start with a small letter. This was the first. And what was the second rule? After completion of name, of giving up the scientific name, we should underline it. And why it is known as the binomial nomenclature? Because there are two names, that is genus and species, no? So that is why it has been given the name binomial nomenclature. So these are the basic difference between a plants and animals. They have chlorophyll, does not have a chlorophyll, autotrophic, heterotrophic, cell wall, no cell wall, fixed into soil, moves from one place to another. This is a very basic difference, you can even understand by yourself. They have large vacuole. These plants have a large vacuoles, and animals does not have a vacuole because it can easily drink up the water from its mouth only. Now main part, major group of animals. This kingdom, that is the animal kingdoms, have been classified into the 9 phyla. What does that mean? See, phylum. What was phylum? Phylum is the largest division in the classification of plants and animals. So inside this, we are going to learn about the 9 phyla. See, from 1 to 8 phyla, na, it is non-chordata. What does that mean? And the last one is chordata. What does chordata means? Chordata means backbone. Backbone means what? Spine. Okay, spinal cord. So from 1st to 8, they are considered as non-chordata. Means this animal does not have the backbone. Like who? Bath sponge, cycon, okay, jellyfish, this snails, slugs. This some examples are there which classified under non-chordata because they does not have the backbone. And who are the chordata? Like we humans, some of the fishes, okay, birds, bats, okay, we mammals have the backbone. So that is why it has been classified into 9. And from 1st to 8 it is non-chordata. So let's understand the first one, that is the porifera. So first, what do you mean by the word porifera? The word porifera means the pore bearers. Pores bearer. Now it has two structures, that is the cycon and the bath sponge. This is the cycon, okay. These are the two examples of this porifera kingdom, and you should understand and you should write in your exams as well because they ask you, okay, give an example of a porifera. So what is the peculiarity of this cycon part? That this has the one opening which is at the top, we can see out here, and we can see up the body of this cycon part with many pores. What does pore means? This holes. There are many pores on his body. What is the function of this pores? The function of this pore is to absorb food and water, okay. It works like a sponge only, okay, sponge. What is the function of the sponge? To absorb up the water. So same like that, this pores absorb up the food and the water. And the opening, which is called the osculum, okay, after the digestion of the food which is not been digested moves out from the body in the form of the excrete, okay. Excrete mean what? The waste of the food, okay, the food which is not required in the body has been thrown out through this osculum part, and pores are there for engulfing, okay, taking in of water and food, and this osculum helps to move the water out. And this cycon is attached with the substernum. Means what? That substernum means they are attached to the land or the rocks. Okay, they can't move. Now there is one more peculiarity. See, if it's going to absorb of the water and the food, so how it is going to absorb? So there are some spicules. What are spicules? Spicules are microscopic part, okay, which are not easily visible from your naked eye. It should be visible under the microscope only. They are present on the inner side of the body. Okay, inside this cycle, if you are going to see, so there are the spicules. What is the function of these spicules? Helps in absorbing of the food or digest. Okay. Now second phylum, that is the need area or colentrata. What does need area means? A sac kind of a structure. A sac like a structure. Now if you are going to look, there is one mouth at the center. There are hair kind of a structure. Which are known as the tentacles. These tentacles are nothing but like your hand only. So whenever we eat up the food, we take the help of our hand. So same like that, the tentacles. See, this need area and porifera both are the non-moving organisms. They are fixed at one position. See, inside the porifera, they have the pores on their body. So from where they can absorb of the water and food. But in the classification of the need area, they does not have the pores on their body. So that is why they do have a structure called tentacles, which are hair kind of a structure. What is the function of these tentacles? This function of the tentacles is to catch the organisms which is around this, okay, which is around him, and digest them. Okay, so function of the tentacle is like to catch the food organisms. This mouth serves for two parts. Taking in of food, it takes in and gives out. So this is a very peculiar function, I know. Okay, the part from where it takes up the food, from their part only the excrete goes out. Okay, so this is a very peculiar function. And they are mostly aquatic. You are going to find mostly in the fresh water. Okay, mostly in the sea. Very few you are going to find in the fresh water. Now, flat helminthes. So before starting of the flat helminthes, let's understand first three part. This flat helminthes, nematoda, annelida, this 3, 4, 5. This have been basically classified as worms. Okay, they have been classified as the worms part. They are the crawling and the creeping animals. They are the crawling and the creeping animals. They are nothing but the crawling and the creeping animals. Now, crawling and creeping means what? See, in the before, like porifera and need area, these two parts, the organisms were fixed at one position. It can't move, right? But this can move. This flat helminthes, nematoda, annelida, but not with the help of the legs. It is going to move with the help of their body. Okay, by crawling and creeping, like how the snake, it does not have the legs, then too it can go from here to there through crawling part. So this is the crawling part, flat helminthes. The name itself suggests flat. So basically they are the flat worms. They have the soft body. They have this small soft body, and their bodies are unsegmented. Like this is the structure of the flat helminthes. Okay, this is the structure. What does unsegmented mean? I will help you to understand with the help of the example of nematoda. But before that, you just understand this is unsegmented body. Okay, they have only one opening, that is at the top, which is known as the mouth. Through the mouth only it takes in the food and throws out the food. It takes in the food and excrete out from this mouth only. Same like the need area condition. So I would like to give you a condition. Have you often suffered with a stomachache? We humans often suffered up with the stomachache. So now a question arises, Why does our stomach ache? Because the food which is present inside the stomach has been eaten up by these organisms. Okay, the food which is present inside the human stomach has been consumed up by these worms of flat helminthes. So that is why they are called as the parasites. Parasites means what? They obtain nutrition from other. We eat food, right? The food which is stored inside the stomach has been eaten by these worms. So that is why they are called as the parasite. Means who obtains of the nutrition from other. So whenever there is a deficient amount of a food inside our body, so these worms try to eat up the food which is left in the body. So that is why there is a cause of a stomachache. And they live in and out. Okay, they live on or inside the animals as a parasites. They can be seen in the sea or the fresh water, and examples of such are they are liver fluke, they are planaria. These are the two examples. Don't study more. These are the two examples, that is etc. And you are going to study more about the tapeworms in the chapter 16. Now nematoda condition. First, nematoda. The word nematoda itself means circle. Okay, like this, like a ball. It's a circle. Even this nematoda are long. Okay. See, flat helminthes was small. It was small like this. Nematoda are big. Okay. Even their body are unsegmented. What do you mean by segmented? See, if you are going to look at the earthworm now, suppose this is the structure of the earthworm, so we can see these segments. But if you are going to look at this two, that is flat helminthes denoted by PL, and this is nematoda which is denoted by N, you are going to see, so they are unsegmented, means you does not have the segments. Okay. The difference between the flat helminthes and nematoda, they are small as I said. Nematoda are quite big. They are both unsegmented. They have only one opening, that is the mouth. They have two openings. This is a mouth and this is the anus. What is the function of this mouth? To take in the food. And what is the function of this anus? To excrete out the food. Okay. Even they are parasites. They can be found inside the body and they can be found also in the soil. Okay. So inside the humans, what are present? Icse is present and hookworm inside the humans. And inside the plants, in the soil as I said, so in the plants also eelworms. We are going to see this in potato plants. If you want to see of this structure. This is the flat helminthes. What is this sucker means? This sucker means the mouth only. Okay, sucker means the mouth only. Now this is a nematoda. As I said, nematoda means the circle. If you are going to see at the Icse, this is the anus and this is the mouth. Okay, and this is the eelworm which you are going to find in the potato plants. So these are the two examples. In the next lecture we are going to discuss the next phylum, that is the Annelida. So as of now we are going to take an end to this part. So this was the part 2 of 5 kingdom classification. Thank you students.